my dear net aspirants and friends, welcome back to yet another video lesson in my channel High Point, and this is going to be the second video in the course related to cultural studies that we have started recently. So like I said in the previous video that which was about the introduction to cultural studies, we have already seen what is BCCCS, right? So the expansion of BCCCS is Birmingham Center for Contemporary Cultural Studies. When I mentioned this name, I have already told you we will have a brief individual video about it later. So this is the second video, second lesson. So if you are watching me for the first time and if you have not yet subscribe to my channel, so that we have just started two new video lecture series, namely literary theory and criticism, and also the second one is cultural studies. Both are too relevant in NTA, UGC, NET, JRF, English, language and literature, and also many of the students and NET aspirants find themselves so difficult in a situation to crack these two subjects. So be with me, study with me, and let's be together journey towards your UGC NET JRF ventures. Okay, so like you can see me in YouTube, you can also visit my website www.highpoint.in and also Instagram ID is right here. You can follow me there too for having free study materials in the form of study cards, videos, reels, stories, quizzes, and many more things. Once you visit my ID, you will get to know. And also you can join a WhatsApp group in which I am sharing daily quiz question and also answer for that question, and news and updates related to NTU UGC NET along with some study materials too. You can go to the description box and click the link and join the WhatsApp group. If not, you can directly WhatsApp me or call me in this given number, not only to join the WhatsApp group, and if you are interested in having a course that we are offering with 15% of off now, you can obviously message me in this number or call me in this number, just whatever you want to do. Okay, so moving on, let's have some points related to BCCS. Okay, so let's first of all see how all this thing got to start. So the beginning, Center for Contemporary Cultural Studies at the University of Birmingham started in 1964. So when in the starting, the name was Center for Contemporary Cultural Studies at the attached to University of Birmingham. The school was there in the University of Birmingham in Britain, and it was named as Center for Contemporary Cultural Studies. Later it came to known as BCCCS, Birmingham Center for Contemporary Cultural Studies. Okay, please remember the expansion of BCCS, and the first director of this particular Center for Cultural Studies was Richard Hoggart. Remember that. Okay, Richard Hoggart. And internationally it came to be known as Birmingham School. So internationally this Center for Contemporary Cultural Studies that was there in University of Birmingham came to known as Birmingham School. Or Birmingham School of Cultural Studies, and it became world's best institution and center to study cultural studies. And Hoggart appointed Stuart Hall as his assistant. So first of all, Richard Hoggart was the director of the center, and later Hoggart appointed Stuart Hall as his assistant, and that was a wise choice made by Richard Hoggart, because Stuart Hall effectively carried out his position as his assistant, and also later he became the director, the second director of this Center for Cultural Studies, and he was the person who made this center so popular throughout his works and studies and the engagements that he has done there. And Stuart Hall formally assumed the directorship of CCCS in 1971. So in 1971, officially Stuart Hall became the director of the center when Hoggart left Birmingham to become Assistant Director General of UNESCO. So Hoggart left Birmingham University and the center in order to become Assistant Director General of UNESCO. Then Stuart Hall became or assumed the position of directorship in the center in 1971. So that was the beginning. Next, thereafter, the field of cultural studies became closely associated with Hall's work. So, everything that engagements that Hall made, Stuart Hall made, actually popularized the popularity or the relevance of cultural studies as well as this center too. In 1979, Hall left Birmingham to accept a prestigious chair in society at the Open University, and Richard Johnson took over the directorship of the center. So, in 1979, Stuart Hall also left the center as he wanted to accept a prestigious offer from from Open University there from the sociology department, and so he left the place, left the center, and Richard Johnson took over the directorship of the center. And the Birmingham CCCS approach to culture and politics evolved from a complex movement within British post-war history. So how this Center for Cultural Studies began to evolve, and its politics or its approach to culture and politics evolved in a very complex and in a very peculiar moment. It actually directly connects with the post-war history of Britain. So, the rise of anti-Stalinistic new left thoughts is one of the famous or one of the most important influence over the culture and politics of the Birmingham Center, and the promotion of adult education in British after the World War II also influenced it. The Americanization of British popular culture is again bring about many cultural things evolved in Birmingham Center, and the growth of mass communication in the decades after 1945 is also another reason. And the growing multiculturalism of British society, the eventual influence within British academia of new critical methods like semiotics and structuralism. See, in the latter half of the 21st century, you can see that semiotics, structuralism, and these type of new thoughts and new theories about literature as such came into being. So, as an influence of all these things, along with some political and cultural influences, we can see the emergence of Birmingham Center for Cultural Studies actually went through in such a very complex and peculiar kind of moment that is there in the British post-war history. Okay. So these are the things mainly influenced the culture and politics evolved around Birmingham Center for Cultural Studies. The center pioneered a variety of approaches to the study of culture. The center actually started a variety of approaches to the study of culture. They were not simply studying culture superficially, but they analyzed culture on various levels as they employed a variety of approaches. What are they? They did ideological analysis with culture. So what is ideology? We will learn in yet another video. It needs a lot of elaboration. So ideological analysis. Ideology is anything that we believe, okay? That we believe are absolute, or that we, that will influence our, actions and all. So that is basically ideology. So ideologically, culture got analyzed, and they also studied working class cultures and subcultures. They were not studying the elite culture, considering culture as elite something, or considering they considered culture as ordinary. That's why they also considered and studied working class culture and subcultures. The role of media audience. The role of media audiences. So media studies is one of the major branch of study or branch of cultural studies or communication and all comes under culture. Then feminist cultural research is also done in cultural studies. Then hegemonic struggles in state policy. So state, nation state relations and hegemonic power struggles that are going on in state politics is also comes under is another approach to the study of culture. Then the place of race in social and cultural process. So these many ways, so there are many more approaches are there for cultural studies, but still these are some of the major things and approaches and variety of approaches to study a culture or study that are studying in cultural studies. And Birmingham Center for Contemporary Cultural Studies got a closure in 2002. How? The immediate reason, see, first of all, when they all of a sudden when the authorities closed down this school, Birmingham School of Cultural Studies, they actually told the outer world that that is for maintenance and making it upgraded. But the immediate reason given for the establishment of the new department was an unexpectedly low result in the UK's research assessment exercise that was there in 2001. So this was the immediate reason given by the authority in order to de-establish such a flourishing school. There must be some other politics going on, but they actually gave this reason that the low result in the UK's research assessment exercise of 2001. Okay, but the university actually the consequence, this closure mainly many believe that is a consequence of inexperienced macho management. That's how they termed it. So inexperienced macho management, the poor decision taken by the management that resulted this closure of the center, the flourishing center of cultural studies in the year 2002. Okay, now there is no more BCCCS present in this world. We cannot find it. It is not there in Birmingham University. Okay, so that's all about BCCCS. See how, in the beginning stages of cultural studies as a discipline, academic discipline, BCCCS had a great influence over this particular, great influence to bring about this study of culture as a major discipline of academic schools, especially related to literature, history and sociology, economics and all. So if you want to know more about cultural studies and BCCS, you can obviously visit my website here, and this is how we have arranged. This is the home page of my website, and see how we have given a separate session for cultural studies. And see, here we have cultural studies, and we will again, if you go into deep into this module, you can see the here we have given a separate session for BCCS. Now we will have one after another important points and concepts related to cultural studies, and the module ends with, or the topic ends with, the major thinkers of cultural studies. So everything that you need for having a knowledge about cultural studies have provided in my website, and you can have it all once you subscribe to the course. And if you are going to subscribe and interested after having the free trial, you can come here and you can see yourself after having the demo materials there. So if you are interested to know more about the courses, every other detail is provided in the website, and if not, you can WhatsApp me or call me in this given number, or you can message me in my Instagram ID. I'll be always ready to respond to you. And if you want to join the WhatsApp group, don't hesitate to call me or WhatsApp me in this number, or go to the description box or click the link and join. And in Instagram too, I'm sharing a lot of free materials there, and I don't think that is sufficient enough. That will add on to your major knowledge about your general knowledge about English literature and language, but still you need a systematically arranged study materials in order to cover the entire NTA UGC syllabus, and also do your best in your exam and achieve your net JRF. So that's all about this video session. Let me meet you in the next video lecture in this series. Until then, you stay tuned to High Point and also learn towards your UGC net JRF. Be consistent in your studies and happy learning. Bye bye guys.